What feels like a setback is actually a setup, because the silence, the struggle, and the delay are all leading to the biggest surprise of your life. Have you ever felt like life has been unusually quiet lately? Like you're stuck in a season where nothing makes sense, and you're wondering, why hasn't it happened for me yet? What if I told you, you're not being overlooked, you're being set up? Yes, right now, in the middle of what feels like silence, frustration, or even defeat, something powerful is taking shape. A shift is coming, a divine surprise that will change everything, and it's closer than you think. In today's message, we're diving deep into a word that's going to encourage your heart, reignite your faith, and open your eyes to the incredible truth that your current season is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of something greater. This isn't just another motivational talk. This is a spiritual awakening to remind you that detours, delays, and even disappointments are not working against you. They are working for you. Stay with me to the very end, because I believe with all my heart that by the time this video is over, you won't just feel inspired, you'll feel seen, strengthened, and ready for what's next. Sometimes in life, the road takes unexpected turns. You start with a plan, with confidence, with dreams that feel divinely inspired, but suddenly, what once looked like a straight path becomes a winding detour. The job falls through, the relationship ends, the opportunity disappears, and you're left standing in a place that feels unfamiliar, wondering how you got here and why things didn't work out the way you believed they would. In moments like these, it's easy to think you've missed your moment or that your time has passed. But the truth is, life's detours are not denials. What looks like rejection is often redirection. What feels like loss may actually be positioning. You may feel like you're stuck, but you're not. You're being steered. There's a greater design unfolding even when the pieces don't make sense. Delay doesn't mean denial. It means there's a bigger picture that's still being painted. Sometimes you're not being blocked, you're being rerouted to avoid something you can't yet see. Doors that shut were never meant to open. People who walked away weren't meant to stay. Seasons that ended had already served their purpose. And in the quiet frustration of the detour, something sacred is happening. Your character is being formed. Your strength is being refined. Your vision is being sharpened. The ones who walk the longest roads often end up with the most unexpected blessings. That long, uncertain journey is doing more for you than a quick victory ever could. It's humbling you, maturing you, preparing you for something you wouldn't have been ready for had things gone according to your timeline. You're not forgotten. You're being set up, because what feels like a setback is often a setup in disguise, a divine interruption meant to position you in the right place, at the right time, with the right heart. It may feel like things are falling apart, but they're really falling into place. You're not being delayed, you're being developed. You're not being overlooked, you're being prepared, in private, so that when the surprise finally unfolds, you'll be ready to carry it, sustain it, and walk fully into what was always meant for you. There are seasons where everything feels still. No movement, no signs, no confirmation. You pray, you wait, you hope, but nothing seems to shift. It's in these silent seasons that doubt begins to whisper. You start questioning if anything is happening at all. But what you don't see with your natural eyes is what's happening in the invisible. Just because it's not visible doesn't mean it's not active. Hidden preparation is happening. The soil doesn't reveal the roots as they grow. Yet beneath the surface, transformation is taking place. Something is being built in secret that will soon be revealed in power. This is the season of quiet construction, where foundations are laid away from the spotlight. The preparation may not be celebrated, but it is sacred. These are the moments where your heart is being conditioned, where strength is being forged in silence, and where endurance is being developed without applause. It's easy to trust when you can see the outcome, but the real test is when you trust in the unseen. That's where faith matures. Not in the noise, but in the hush. Not in the breakthroughs, but in the waiting. There's a reason the most important work is done out of sight. Because what's being built is too precious to be exposed prematurely. Just as a sculptor doesn't rush the chisel and a potter doesn't hurry the wheel, this season is careful and intentional. What you think is inactivity is actually intricate design. You're being equipped for something greater than you imagined. You're being prepared to handle what you prayed for, because a blessing that comes before its time can become a burden. So the silence is not absence, it's strategy. The quiet is not punishment, it's preparation. Things are being aligned, hearts are being shifted, doors are being readied, and most importantly, you are being transformed from the inside out. There is a hidden work that precedes every public unveiling. The surprise that's coming isn't just about what you receive, it's about who you've become in the waiting. And when the time is right, what was hidden will be revealed. What was growing in silence will bloom in fullness. The stillness isn't empty, it's alive with purpose. Life has a way of surprising us through the most unexpected avenues. You may be looking in one direction, hoping for the answer to come through a familiar face, a familiar place, or a well-laid plan. But the most powerful breakthroughs rarely arrive the way we imagined. Sometimes the open door doesn't look like a door at all. Sometimes the answer is wrapped in discomfort, hidden in unfamiliar territory, or delivered through someone you would have never considered. The biggest surprises often come through unexpected people, places, and paths, because the design on your life isn't limited to what makes sense to you. You may not recognize the path while you're walking it. It might feel uncertain or even uncomfortable, but you weren't called to comfort, you were called to purpose. And purpose often pulls you into unfamiliar places. That's where the stretch happens. That's where the growth begins. The blessings you're waiting on might not come from the circle you know, but from the ones you've never considered. Be open. Stay sensitive. Keep your heart soft. Because the very thing you're tempted to overlook could be the exact thing sent to shift everything. It won't always look how you thought, but it will always be what you need. Sometimes it takes a surprise to wake you up to what's possible, to show you that the plan was never limited by your vision. That closed door pushed you to knock on a better one, that no set you up for a greater yes. And when it unfolds, you'll look back and realize nothing was random, nothing was wasted, and everything. Sometimes it feels like others are moving ahead while you're standing still. You wonder why your breakthrough hasn't arrived, why the promise still seems distant, why your prayers are met with silence. But you must understand, delay is not denial, and silence is not absence. There's a divine rhythm to everything, and your life is moving in sync with it, even when you can't hear the beat. What's being prepared for you is bigger than just a moment. It's a movement, and it has to be built to last. That's why it can't be rushed. That's why the process matters, because you're not just receiving something, you're becoming someone. You won't have to fight for what's yours. Yes, you'll face battles, but not for the right things, because the right things will align with your spirit, your growth, and your calling. What's meant for you will bring peace, not pressure. Clarity, not confusion. It will fit, not force. You don't have to beg for it, chase it down, or lose yourself to keep it. And when it arrives, it will confirm everything your heart already sensed, but couldn't yet see. Every moment you thought was a loss will be revealed as a lesson. Every door that closed will be understood as protection. And every delay will suddenly make sense when what's yours finds its way to you. So stay faithful in the waiting, steadfast in the unknown, and anchored in trust. What is truly for you is not going to pass you by. It will find you, fully ready, fully whole, and fully prepared to carry it. It's easy to believe the story is over when you're in the middle of the hardest chapter. When doors close, when prayers seem unanswered, when the pressure mounts and hope feels thin, you might begin to think, this is how it ends. But what you're standing in right now is not the conclusion. It's just a turning point. The current season, no matter how painful or confusing, is not the final chapter of your story. It's a setup for something greater that hasn't been revealed yet. You are walking through a plot twist, not a full stop. And sometimes it's the unexpected shift that positions you for the fulfillment you didn't even see coming. There are moments where everything feels uncertain, where you can't trace the path ahead, where the silence feels heavy and the way forward seems hidden. But in those very moments, something sacred is unfolding. You're being stretched. You're being refined. You're being made ready for the next chapter, even if you don't yet see the pages turning. The author of your story hasn't stopped writing. The pen is still in motion, and though this season might not make sense from where you're standing, it's part of a bigger picture being crafted with purpose and precision. You may feel like your best days are behind you, like the opportunity passed, like the dream died, but the truth is, nothing that's meant for you is ever truly lost. What's divine can be delayed, but it can never be destroyed. You are not stuck. You are being positioned. What looks like an end is often a beginning in disguise, and the moment you feel like giving up is often the moment right before the breakthrough. Every great story has a turning point. The moment when what seemed impossible suddenly becomes reality. That moment is coming. Don't define your life by the season you're in. The pain, the waiting, the confusion, they are not permanent. They are temporary pages in a much larger story filled with redemption, restoration, and surprising joy. You're not at the end. You're in the middle. And the middle always carries the weight of transformation. When the next chapter unfolds, you'll understand why you had to walk through this one. Not to break you, but to build you. Not to delay you, but to direct you. The story isn't over yet, and the best is still ahead. There's a tension that comes when you've been believing, waiting, and holding on, but nothing seems to be changing. You pray with faith, you speak with hope, but the silence lingers, and the promise feels distant. It's in these moments that weariness creeps in and the temptation to quit feels strongest. But what you must realize is that you are closer than you think. The moment of breakthrough often comes right after the moment of greatest resistance. There's a pressure that builds just before the release, a tightening before the opening, a stillness before the shift. What you feel right now isn't a sign to give up. It's a sign that something is about to change. You may not see the evidence yet, but that doesn't mean movement isn't happening. Some of the greatest works are done behind the veil, in the places unseen. Just like seeds grow underground before they ever sprout, your breakthrough has been taking root beneath the surface. You've been sowing in faith, watering with prayer, waiting in hope, and harvest is coming. Decisive and quick, the break has not been in vain. The wait has not been in vain. The wait has not been wasted as it's been returned. You've been waiting in faith. You've been waiting in hope. Every tear, every quiet moment of trust, every decision to believe, even when you didn't feel it. It has all been building towards something far greater than you imagined. The final stretch is often the hardest, because it demands everything. Your focus, your faith, your endurance. And this is where many give up, not realizing how close they are. But you are not called to quit. You are called to finish. You were built with resilience. And while the enemy may try to wear you down, you've come too far to turn back now. The silence is not the absence of movement. It's the echo of something approaching. The heavens have not forgotten you. The vision was not false. The promise still stands. When the breakthrough comes, and it will not only fulfill what you were waiting for, but it will redeem the time you thought was lost. It will make sense of the struggle and bring beauty out of the pressure. And you'll realize you weren't being ignored. You were being prepared. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. Right now, you are standing on the edge of something you cannot yet see, and what's coming is worth every second you waited. You're closer than you think. So if you've been feeling like life has taken some unexpected turns, like the silence has lasted too long, like the doors have stayed shut and the waiting has stretched your faith, take heart. Every detour, every delay, every quiet moment has been leading you somewhere on purpose. There is a greater plan unfolding beyond what you can see. The preparation you thought was punishment was actually positioning. The people who left, the paths that closed, the moments that confused you, they were never setbacks. They were setups. You are walking into a season where things are about to make sense, where what you've carried in prayer will finally break through in power, where what felt like the end will reveal itself as the beginning of something greater. The surprise is coming, and it won't just be big, it'll be personal, tailored, designed with your name on it. And when it arrives, it'll be more than a blessing. It'll be a revelation, a reminder that you were never forgotten, never overlooked, never abandoned. You are always being guided, always being prepared, always being loved. In ways deeper than you could comprehend. You are closer than you think. The silence is breaking. The story is shifting. And the biggest surprise of your life is already on its way. Thank you so much for leaning in, for opening your hearts, and for allowing these words to meet you right where you are. It's an honor to speak into your journey, even just for a moment. May you walk forward with renewed strength, quiet confidence, and an unshakable hope that what's coming is worth everything it took to get here. Keep standing, keep believing. Your surprise is on the way.